The tranquility, peacefulness, and vastness of northern BC seems untouched. But just below the surface, almost 20,000 wells have left their mark. This is Canada's largest fossil fuel reserve and home to a small First Nation. Nearly all of Blueberry River First Nation is within 250 meters of an industrial disturbance, like this one. And with all of this untapped fossil fuel underneath us, energy companies want in.
You ladies picked the coldest day of the year.
Sure did.
Jerry Davis and Wayne Yahe have watched the oil and gas industry change their land.
Oil and gas was always here, but at the turn of the 90s, that's when it just ramped up. In the last 5 years, I barely even see any wildlife.
It's slowly taken away.
Jerry says his land has been destroyed, water polluted, and hunting not what it once was.
Long ago was our happy days. When they take the gas out, the gas itself goes up in the air and it comes down, polluted the whole country.
I'm wondering now, with all of these gas companies that want to come in and do more, what do you think of that?
I know for a fact that we'll be involved in every step of that permanent process. We have a say.
That tug-of-war between the environment and the economy puts Blueberry River First Nations, a small community of 550, in a tough spot. This is Blueberry River First Nations. CBC mapped all the active wells in the region, called the Montney. Thousands more are planned for development. If it's all extracted and burned, it's over 13 billion tons of greenhouse gas emissions. That's about 19 times Canada's annual emissions.
In the midst of a climate emergency, industry players and governments are planning on setting up these huge new fossil fuel projects.
Kjell Kuhne is a researcher in Germany. He, among others, calls projects with such high levels of emissions carbon bombs.
This is the global map of carbon bombs.
This is his doomsday map. Billions of tons of emissions from Russia, China, the United States, and a potential 39 billion from Canada, with Montney the biggest of all.
Focusing on these carbon bombs allows you to focus on the places where the climate emergency is created and figuring out ways to slow it down. We are still in time to stop that from happening.
We need to be looking at this as a global perspective.
But MLA for the region, Dan Davies, says the world needs this gas.
India, China, other countries that absolutely rely on this energy are going to go somewhere else for it.
I mean, the experts say we got a decade to shut this thing down. Do you recognize that there's a certain urgency here in terms of the timeline?
Absolutely, there's urgency. To say stop in 10 years, that's unrealistic. We are not there as a country. We're not there as a society. Are we going to meet our climate goals? I don't know. I don't know if we can.
That's a lot of pressure on Blueberry River First Nations Chief Judy Desjardins.
And so pretty soon there was
She's watched industry profit from her land for decades.
Our people were overlooked, our standards were overlooked, there was no benefits to the nation. Those were all.
After a court decision and a recent agreement with the province, Blueberry River has a say in where new development happens.
We're at a place where we are in the driver's seat and we can still restore our cultural and traditional values while working with industry, the government, and find that balance so that we can move forward.
It gives me hope for the future of my unborn grandchildren. I know we're going to work towards helping them to preserve what we have left today.
Moving forward, whatever this community decides, it will be on their own terms.